part of the Glendale community, and we welcome you to this event today. It's going to be a fun time. We've taken a quantum leap, a real risk. If you look at your program, you'll see that we have some former mayors that will be elucidating today. I know at least a couple of them, and we hope that brevity will be their home. We hope that when you leave today, you'll hear more about it later, but be sure to take that commemorative coffee cup with you. It has the theme of today's luncheon, never take a break from caring. You are here because you're caring individuals, and we want to challenge you to keep caring. Thank you for caring for others through the Salvation Army. Thank you for caring for the Salvation Army, because what we do, we could not do without you. Have I exceeded my time limit yet? We have a timekeeper over here. He's supposed to be keeping time with you. He's so busy eating. Go ahead and show us. See, that's what's supposed to happen when somebody coughs on the wall. Do it over for a while. Okay, on with the show.
Thank you for that demonstration. Our goal is to be completed at 1:15, and so all of you who are visiting, we do appreciate you being here. It's my privilege now to introduce Mr. Ceremonies. Carol Hitchcock is the anchor co-host of the highly rated Good Morning Arizona news program, videos each day from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Channel 3 TV. And this morning, I want you to know that we were sort of free, and it looked like we were having a wonderful time. Tara received her bachelor's degree in political science and communications in 1991 from Boston College, where she made the dean's list. She received her master's degree from the Glendale School of Journalism at Northwestern University. While an undergraduate and during her years in graduate school, Tara was very active in news reporting as an intern for TV programs such as Meet the Press in Washington, D.C., as well as other television news programs in Boston and New York City. She participated in a number of media workshops, received awards in public speaking competitions, and performed volunteer duties. In 1987, she came to Phoenix as one of 400 in the U.S. chosen for the American Academy of Achievement. And in 1990, was one of 30 students at Boston College chosen to tour the Soviet Union. In January of 2002, while in Telluride, or show, or tough assignment, January in Telluride, Tara met Ken Francis, and they were married in October of 2003. This will be the third year that Tara has agreed to be our mistress of ceremonies, along with the advisory board and the staff. Please help me warmly welcome Tara Hitchcock back to Glendale.
First of all, that was not short, because the first thing I said was, tell me they didn't send you that bio from our station. And she said, no, I shortened it. I don't know what you cut out, but I actually needed you yesterday. I spoke to a group of sixth graders. It was so cute. I asked, there was time for question and answer period. There was still more interest. And it said, now where do you work again? What station is that? I'm going to use that intro yesterday. Maybe you would know. Anyway, I'm always glad to come out and do this event in Glendale. I love this. We need this at work. I use like supervisor for every single person I work with, including me. So, anyway, let me start by mentioning the volunteer activities that take place in the community. As you all know, voluntary activities found in the caring community are really indicators of the health of that community. Glendale has no shortage of volunteers. Glendale has no shortage of groups or individuals who care for the community, and there is definitely not a shortage of projects in which to challenge those groups and individuals. They're also the lifeblood of the Salvation Army here in Glendale and all around the country. Groups and individuals who volunteer on behalf of the Army are proof that this community in particular never, ever takes a break from caring. One group in particular, the Community Church of Joy, literally came to the rescue of the Salvation Army this past Christmas season. We'll hear more about them in just a moment. there's a danger when you spotlight just one volunteer, a specific volunteer, especially when there are so many who never take a break from caring. But there are two volunteers that are true standouts this year, and you'll also meet them in a few moments. So this luncheon is really honoring you, the volunteers, and a few in particular. So to present the Community Recognition Awards, we want to welcome back Glendale's four officers, Majors Vaughn and Marilyn Waddle.
Groups and volunteers certainly are very important to us.
There are so many things we do which we can't do without them.
Can you all hear us out there? You can talk to this one, and I'll talk to this one.
Okay.
Somebody look like this. We depended more than ever on volunteers this past Christmas season.
So when we received the news that Target stores would not allow the Salvation Army to locate Christmas kettles at their locations, we weren't sure what to do.
The three Target stores in our area of operation produced over $18,000 in 2003. That was about 20% of all the income we raised with those Christmas kettles.
But you got an exciting call one day, didn't you?
I certainly did. We learned that the Community Church of Joy was inviting us to place a kettle at the exit of their annual Celebration of Lights production.
I guess you could say Community Church of Joy is a very caring congregation.
I guess I could say that. And there's no doubt about it. When all was said and done, a total of $9,106 were raised because of the kindness of Community Church of Joy. And maybe some of you go through that Celebration of Lights and saw one of our workers there with a Christmas kettle at the exit. It was a fantastic opportunity, and we're very grateful for it. So today, we want to present Community Church of Joy with a plaque naming them as our Community Congregation of the Year. Marlene Williams, Human Resources Officer of Community Church of Joy, is here somewhere. Here she is.
From the Salvation Army Glendale Corps. We thank you and God bless you. Okay.
It was real interesting when we learned of Community Church of Joy's offer. I guess our first response was,
wow.
And then the second thing that crossed my mind was,
how?
So we put out a plea to our congregation for uniform salvations because that was one of the requirements. Uniform salvationists to man the kettle, hoping and praying that enough volunteers would come forth to fulfill the commitment.
I think the Bible says something about that.
What would that mean?
What?
It's right there.
What? Oh, I think the Bible says something about that.
We got our script mixed up. And we can't go back and redo it. I was trying to let you know that I was expressing a lack of faith. And she was supposed to say that the Bible says something about that, and I was supposed to say, what?
Oh, yeah, a little faith.
That was it. After the first announcement was made, a couple approached me and said, Major, we'd like to do it.
So, with a few nights off, this couple was on duty from Thanksgiving through Christmas Eve.
And I want you to meet today Bill and Joan Golden, our caring volunteers of the year. Come on.
So here's your plaque to Bill and Joan Loden, our caring volunteers of the year. We're so pleased to present this to you. In fact, they were down here just last evening volunteering with one of our youth groups. Bill cooking the meal and Joan helping with the program. God bless you.
But if you were to engage in a conversation, you will find that they are from a foreign country. I think it's Massachusetts.
I don't know why you even need me. You all are awesome. You should take that out down the road. I love you people. I'm going to hold this and use the script because our next guest has a much better resume than the one I have. I want to introduce you to Lieutenant Colonel Don Mowry, who's going to talk a little bit about the Army's tradition of others, and specifically the Others Award. Colonel Mowry has served as the Salvation Army Corps officer and a pastor. He has also served as an administrative officer with regional responsibility for the Salvation Army youth programs. He has been the administrator of the Salvation Army Adult Rehabilitation Center, the programs for both the men and the women with alcohol and drug addictions. He has also served as the divisional commander of the Hawaiian and Pacific Islands Division. They're up there. Yeah, aloha. And in 2001, he and his wife were appointed divisional leaders of the Southwest Division. In his present capacity as the Southwest Divisional Commander, Colonel Mowry is responsible for the Army's work in Arizona, in New Mexico, in Las Vegas, Nevada, and El Paso, Texas. And this includes 46 centers for worship and service and numerous social service and rehabilitation programs. Please welcome Lieutenant Colonel Don Mowry.
Sarah, thank you very, very much. I do want to give some credit to Channel 3. I know that you would be very pleased to know that under the support and the sponsorship of Channel 3, the Salvation Army Christmas Angel program is the largest program in the country. With about 50,000 gifts towards giving to children this last year. So, I do want to thank you for your support and certainly the ministry here in Glendale. And I would acknowledge the matrons and their excellent ministry, as well as their staff and all that they accomplish here in this community in taking care of others. I would recognize you as well and the tremendous support you give, because without you, we would not be able to serve as many as we do. Others. William Welldoon, the son of the founder of the Salvation Army, encouraged his father to send a telegram. Remember what a telegram was? Yes? A telegram to every Salvation Army officer in the world. A word of encouragement. William Booth, the founder of the Salvation Army, thought about it for a while, and then he did as his son suggested. And he sent a one-word telegram to every Salvation Army officer in the world. And that one word was others. Others. That's the spirit of the Salvation Army and our ministry. Our national commander shared some information with us just recently. And let me just highlight just a few of those statistics in the United States. The Salvation Army last year served over 32.9 million people in the USA. 55.5 million meals were served. 20.5 million tangible items were distributed. In my mind, I'm thinking of couches and chairs and used automobiles as an example. 10 million nights of lodging were provided in the United States. Friends, this is what's important to us. 3.5 million volunteers gave of themselves in the U.S. on behalf of others in the South for the Salvation Army. There were 450,000 Salvation Army Corps in core members and soldiers in the USA, and we have over 65 members in the advisory organization. 5,761 officers. So friends, you can see, without you, the volunteers, we would never, ever be able to accomplish what we do in helping others. Let me share with you the mission statement of the Salvation Army. The Salvation Army, an international movement, is an evangelical part of the universal Christian church. Its message is based on the Bible. Its ministry is motivated by the love of God, and its mission is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ and to meet human needs in His name without discrimination. Why the Salvation Army? Hundreds of thousands of wonderful people like you who give of themselves, who help others, who are homeless, destitute, hungry, sick. And they do so, and you do so, regardless of who they are, bringing help and hope to others. I would share with you that others is not just our community, but the world, in fact. The Salvation Army Southwest Edition has been a partner with Congo in Africa. And we are now preparing to send a team of volunteers to Kinshasa, the Congo. And we will be remodeling AIDS hospitals there in the Congo to help meet the needs of those so destitute, making a difference in the lives of others. And I think every one of us in this room can smile when I share with you that out of the terrible, terrible disaster, the tsunami that hit Asia this December, this division raised over $927,000 to go directly to the aid and to the assistance of those affected by that terrible disasters. And may I say, those others will be helped by the Salvation Army because of your generosity. Someone has said, the Salvation Army. No. The Salvation Army is fighting to be helped because too many people live in less than heavenly conditions. And friends, it's because of you, and because of your support, we're able to do so. I would leave with you the words again of our founder, William Booth, who 133 years ago said this: "While women weep as they do now, I'll fight. While little children go hungry, I'll fight. While men go to prison, in and out, as they do now, I'll fight. While there is a drunkard left, while there is one poor lost girl on the streets, where there remains one dark soul without the light of God, I'll fight, and I'll fight to the very end." Salvation Army, with your support, with your resource, and with your help, continues to fight and to help others be what God intended them to be. Thank you for allowing me to be with you, and may I turn it over to
Got a little dramatic music toward the end there. Everybody's so this obviously is a very special award, and to help present the others award, I want to invite some advisory board members who are also members of the Glendale City Council. Vice Mayor Tom Eggleston and Councilman Steve Brady, and they are going to help former mayors and the current mayor of the city of Glendale to honor a very special person that will join many other special recipients.
Thank you. Steve and I have been on the advisory board for a good long time, and Steve now serves as vice chair. And our enviable task to introduce each by each the four mayors that served in Glendale subsequent to the service of Mayor Max Klass. Klass came on the council in 1964, and then in 1966 he served there for 10 years, in 1977. He was the youngest person to serve as mayor and council at that time. A lot younger. Next week. Steve, you do the first introduction.
Well, before I do the first introduction, I just look down at this table of past mayors and present mayor, and I look at 40 years, over 40 years of leadership in this community. How about if we give a hand? Tom, I just wanted to mention, the Others Award is a very prestigious award. In fact, it says it right here on my script. Award recipients become part of a distinguished and prestigious group. And on a national basis, individuals such as Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, Dr. James Dawson, Charles Colson, Seattle Seahawks coach Mike Holmgren, President Ronald Reagan, Joan Kroc, Paul Harvey, and Mayor Rudolph Giuliani have all been recipients of the Others Awards, so this is a very prestigious award. My introduction is going to be for Sterling Ridge. Sterling Ridge served on the City Council as a City Council member from 1974 to 76, and as mayor from 1976 to 1980, and then went on further and served down at the state legislature. We have a warm hand for Sterling.
Very distinguished group I'm sitting with there. 40 years of experience, and that includes 23 months. You'll notice all the gray hair except for the lane. But no, it truly was an honor to serve with Mayor. It's a double honor Max and Betty Klass. I can't think of any people who are more deserving of giving more to this city in their volunteer time. And I would say every time I see Max and Betty together, I think Betty's probably down for sainthood. But in any case, I have this is supposed to be a general roast, and I'll try to make it as general as I can. But let me tell you a little short story and we'll get into it. I just had a daughter move to Dublin, Ireland, and to show you how quickly people adapt, especially children, her first grader was in school for 1 week, and then she was playing in a neighbor's yard, and being who she is, she went down the slide backwards, and she landed on her bottom, and she looked at her mother and she said, "That hurt me bum, Mom." So, and then the other surprise was the third grader said, "Mom, we're allowed to pray in school." It's amazing what happens in different countries. But I had a great pleasure of being Max's Phil Lieberman. I gave her back at that, but no, I'm joking. Myron Peck was there too. But at the time, it was coincidental. I had a little feisty dog who had short gray hair, curly hair, and he was named Max. And Max was ferocious, and we let him out the front door, and he chased out and roared at the big palm trees in front of our house, just bark and bark and bark. And no palm tree ever set foot in our door, I'll tell you that. But In any case, Betty came over to a Girl Scout meeting one day. Barbara was heading on the board. My wife Barbara was sitting down there, and Barbara got to thinking about it. Now, she told Polly, our youngest, to hide Max in her room and not let Max out. And sure enough, in the middle of the meeting, here comes Max trotting right through the room there. And Polly was running after the dog, yelling, "Here, dog! Here, dog! Here, dog!" And of course, I couldn't resist telling this story to Max. And I went to his house, a year or so later. There was a big lazy dog lying in the middle of Max's entrance hall. And we were coming into the house, and he kicked the dog in the bum. And he said, "Get out of the way, Stu, that lazy dog." Anyway, it was a pleasure honoring Max. Max truly deserves this honor, and Betty deserves it even more. And I want to thank you for having us up here. Thank you.
Well, now I'd like to call up my longtime friend and neighbor, Mayor George Renner. Mayor Renner served 3 years on the council. In 1980, he became our mayor. For 12 years in 1992, he served as our mayor. And subsequently been doing a lot of good volunteer work for water issues. He served as the president of the board of the Central Arizona Water Conservation District. Mayor Renner, come on.
3.5 minutes, President. Thank you. Welcome all of you to this luncheon and this opportunity to honor Max and Betty. Betty, as Sterling said, you really deserve the honor first and foremost for putting up with Max. And as far as putting up with people, as Mayor Scruggs knows better than anyone in this room, one of the biggest challenges an elected official has is putting up with former elected officials who like to call and write letters and perhaps take advantage of their past position. No one, in my experience as an elected official, was more expert at that than Mayor Max Klass. And from not only issues that were near and dear to his heart, but issues that were near and dear to others' hearts, Max would advocate on their behalf. And I never understood if he learned this from Betty or Betty learned it from him, but Betty could be equally as irascible when it came to issues like arts, when it came to issues like the Historical Society, when it came to funding issues. I think Betty's work with others is one of the reasons that the Glendale Arts Council has evolved to be the kind of activity it is today. They deserve great credit for that. Max deserves credit and blame for a lot of things. Sister City was Max's idea, and he was a constant thorn in my side to make sure that the Sister City organization got funding. My best Max Klass memory is when I took office as mayor. The city was having some issues with the library. The library then was organized in a different way than it is now. The library board actually had some authority, taxing type authority. They could spend money without the council's approval. And Max was still a fairly recent former mayor at that time in 1980. He had a rather unsuccessful, some say disastrous run for Congress. Took some of that frustration out on the city. Anyway, we decided what we would do is we would hand this whole mess of the library to Max Klass, and we appointed him to the library board, where he instantly exerted his leadership and became chairman. And as we knew, he went on and solved those problems, and it came back in the fold to be a more normal operating board and commission. However, in his own spirit and initiative, Max created a group called the Friends of the Library that still exists today. Some of you may be members of that organization, which turned out to be, in a Max Klassian kind of spirit, a thorn in the side of the mayor and council when it came to library issues. So your spirit lives, Max, not only individually, but organization. The two of you deserve great recognition. Thank you.
Next introduction is former mayor who served on the city council from 1980 to 1992, and then was mayor from 92 to 93, and then went on to bigger and better things, and was serving as judge of the Glendale Justice Court. Would you please have a hand for Judge Tolbert?
I never knew what they called the police dog Max, but I do now. I did not have the pleasure of working directly with Max and the city council. I come on after he had already left. But I remember we did have a few discussions about art. Max, I believe Max thought I was unsophisticated when it came to art. He's probably right. I'm sure Elaine remembers when I called a piece of art up in Union Hills a bowling ball without holes. The late Marie Sands tried in vain to educate me about art, but she never got that done either. I remember working with Betty on planting trees. You could fill a book on the projects that Max and Betty had worked on. You know, Max, being a politician is not hard. All you need is sincerity. And as soon as you learn how to fake it, it's easy. I look at City Hall today and remember how it was in the days when I first started. We had the entire staff in the old West Stately building. The mayor's office could not have been more than 10-foot square, just big enough for one desk and one chair. Didn't even have a window. George didn't have a window at that time. You know, politicians are like dirty socks. They both become clean when you put them in hot water. I was told the Max mayor that every public employee gave 100% every week. They gave 20% on Monday, 20% on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Max, I think it was on your watch when you tore down some houses and built the old police station. I'm not real sure. I think it was. Well, when we came along, George and I tore down the old police station and built the senior center. Then Elaine came along and tore down the senior center and built a parking lot. That's all progress. Max, I was told the man walked into your office one day and inquired about your fees. You told him there's $50 for 2 questions. The man said, isn't that awful steep? And Max said, yes. What's your second question?
And now it's my pleasure to introduce our present mayor, Mayor Elaine Scruggs, came on the council in 1990, served since 1993 as our mayor, Mayor Elaine Scruggs.
I met Betty first before I met Max. That was probably good. And I met Betty in 1982 when I became involved in the Glendale Arts Council, and she was part of a group that Shanghai me into becoming vice president the day of my first meeting. But anyway, I've loved her ever since. And if you know Betty, you know exactly what she's all about, and it's hard work, and it's silent hard work. Betty's the one that when you go to a function, you never see Betty because she's in the kitchen washing dishes, or she's loading up her pickup truck with who knows what. She's the hardest working, most sincere person, really, that you could ever find. She's done so many great things in the city, but somebody wrote about Betty better than I think what I could say, and I'm going to read what was written. This reminder of what happened is dedicated to my loving companion, Betty Klass. She was then, and is now, a silent force for good in the community. Her thoughts and high principles were always a guide star to me during my public service. We shared fun times, hard work, and vicissitudes of public office. We both express our heartfelt thanks to Irene Witter for preserving a reminder of some of the best years of our lives, Max Klass. Now, where did I get this? You see, I did get to know Max, and to tell you the truth, we've been personal friends for many years now and enjoy having them at our house and we do social things together. But Max, wanting to make sure that I stayed on the straight and narrow, gave me a book called What Really Happened, Glendale, Arizona, 1964 to 1976. This is my guidepost, and it recounts what happened during Max's life. And I think I'll go along with something Clinton said. Things come and go, but they don't really change that much. We're talking a lot about annexation during the time Max was mayor. The city doubled in size from 10.76 square miles to 23.5 square miles. As a councilor, we talk a lot about parks. Boy, we fight about parks all the time. During the time that Max was mayor, there were 3 pools built, 7 parks built, Glen Lake Golf Course built. Well, we have a lot of time constraints, so I'll skip this part about when he enacted the ban on goats. I didn't understand that. I wasn't sure about that, but we'll go back to that some other time. Okay. In 1967, Mayor Max Klass predicted the substantial completion of Grand Avenue from Camelback to Northern and Glendale Avenue 83rd to Grand. We're working on that, Max. In 1970, Mayor Klass got a student representative authorized in the Parks and Recreation Commission from high schools within corporate limits. I don't know what happened to that. I thought I did that about 1998. But anyway, you did it first. This year came back. The employees in the city of Glendale closure years in 1970, he gave a 10% pay raise. I'm going to skip through this. They're going to buzz me real quick. We had a big fight with Sam Steiger with the national news. Max also taught me how to speak properly as the mayor and the elected chief representative of the city of Glendale. And one of the ways, this is August 1973, is reported here, the city of Glendale rejected the EPA transportation proposal to reduce mileage 15%. Mayor Klass said, pure hogwash. 1974, Max was mayor, and there was the first live Christmas tree lighting in the city of Glendale. We call that Glendale Glitters now, don't we? 1975, dial ride buses rolled for the first time. 1975, mayor instituted a recycling pilot program. 1976, radar speed gun, now in use of police department, and it still is. I want to thank you for all that you have done. You know, I didn't get the memo that this was supposed to be a roast, so I wanted to recount really some of the wonderful public service that you have provided, what you have allowed me to be a part of in your time. And I want to end with what I rewrote. Max Klass served with true faith and allegiance, leading the city of Glendale through its greatest periods of growth in area and population with the attendant problems such growth generates. Thank you both so very much for all of your service. Thank you all so much. Now may I please invite Max and Betty, would you come forward? It's a great deal of privilege. Everything is pretty much unveiled. And I'm just so honored to be here to say to you, we are so proud of you and so appreciate the value of everything you have done for Glendale and for our many, many citizens through the years. And at this time, Ron, would you please would you hand to Professor Mann?
This is inscribed, and it says, presented to Max and Betty Klass, the appreciation of your service to others for the Salvation Army of Glendale, May 11, 2005. We give it to you as, again, from our heart, with gratitude for all that you've done for this community, and we pray that we'll keep on doing good things. Never take a break from caring.
How sharp is the serpent's tooth? Just a few words to turn on your pal. That reminds me that I'm still alive and I'm still out there and my dog still bites. Thank you all for everything.
So you have a couple of minutes if you want to say a word or two more. Thank you so much. And just let me interject before Tara comes back. I want to say a word of thanks. This is not a program, but the concept for this honor this year came from one Dan Germont. And thank you, Dan, for giving us this opportunity. Some of us learned a lot today. Some of you relived a lot of things. But we have a much deeper appreciation for Glendale, for the people that have been at the helm of the ship of Glendale. And we thank you. And thanks to Max and Debbie.
I want to bring up Amy Backer, who has I think an announcement involving a silent auction before we say the thank yous.
Got it.
What's going on?
I think I'm going to stand in for her. Is that right? She's back
It's hard
there.
to get all the way up, so I'm going to leave it back here.
You, two things. Special thank you to the following for partnering with the Salvation Army in its Maintenance Partnership Program. There are 12 groups or individuals who have pledged $200 a month to help us with ongoing needs on the campus here. And is that all I have to say? I think so.
That's it.
I have a few thank yous that we want to get before we say thank you for coming. The Glendale Salvation Army Advisory Board, obviously, and its Civic Luncheon Committee, thank you so much for helping put this together with all the great food and the great treats and desserts. Feel free to take the desserts that haven't been eaten, stick them in the car, bring them back home, you can eat them later. Also, the Glendale Core staff, Classic Catering for helping with the luncheon, Tulip Tree Florist for helping as well. Don't forget to take your cups. Before everybody goes, however, I want to bring up Councilman Craig. I think he has a special presentation.
This is a surprise. This is for Major Brown and Major Eric. Would you come up, please? Come on now, we're on camera. The advisory board appreciates all the hard work you do, and since your boss is here, I'm going to say you have to be one of the most hardest working couples in the Army, and this is just a little appreciation from the advisory board. I hope you enjoy it and take some time off to enjoy it. So congratulations.
Personally, I just want to thank the Army. I know you gave us a little bit of credit with the Angel program, but that is nothing compared to the work that the volunteers do to put all those gifts together. We mentioned it on television, talk about it on TV. That's easy. The hard part is organizing the entire thing. All the volunteers, I'm sure many of you came down to help put those gifts together for the kids and deliver them, so that's where the thank you really needs to go to. On behalf of Channel 3, I see some community leaders in addition to the mayor and the former mayor, that Elio is over there. Thank you for being so accessible to us. We do a lot, obviously, with the police department and the fire departments, but you all have always been very generous with us when things happen, good or bad, so thank you. Drive carefully, enjoy the rest of your gorgeous day. Go Phoenix Suns, fans going to the game today. Go stand, yes, thank you very much. And maybe one day we'll have hockey back here. So keep your fingers crossed. Yeah, I know.
12:30 Saturday, we're still going to be playing for a national championship, NBC, so
Yeah, that's great.
it's great. Coach of the year, so not that I'm plugging it.
Anyway, drive carefully. Thanks so much for coming.
ceremony this was. This is Ed Sharpe, KKAT-TV, Glendale, Arizona.